Okay, we are live, just so you know. We are
Hello,
officially
people.
live. Dani just said she had to brush her hair, but I didn't
Not
give
happening.
her any time, so
Not today.
that's all right. How's everyone doing? Let's see. We got a few people in here.
How are there already people in here?
Hi, Ernie. There was like 4 or 5 people waiting for us to start.
We're always late.
You're always late.
True.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, we're going to talk today. Kind of a fun topic, and it's one on the forefront of our mind because we're in the middle of doing a few of these. But hosting a competition at your gym. Should you do it? Shouldn't you do it? If you do it, should you expect to make some money on it? Should you do it for fun, for the community, for attention? A lot of things go into hosting a comp, and they are a lot of work. So Dani can speak to this a lot better than I can, obviously, because she is the
I do everything.
organizer. Yeah. I would say you do most things, and as far as getting it set up and situated. What's your biggest driver to do competitions at our affiliates? We've been doing them a long time. So why do you do it?
I will say this is a controversial topic for me because I think we generally put on really good competitions because we keep them simple. I've been to so many local competitions that I both competed in or just watched athletes. And I just feel like the general theme that I see is the gym owners make them so complicated, whether it's like so many divisions or like weird workouts or too many rules or like stand here, tag here. Like it just makes it a disaster. So I get very judgmental when I go into like another gym and like watch their comp. And I think like having seen so many is like kind of the way it's like framed the way like that we do our competitions, which is like just like almost foolproof, right? Or we try to anyway. Wait, what was your question?
I mean, you kind of answered it. It was just like what would drive you? Well, I guess you just explained your pet peeves.
Drive me. I think it is fun for our gym, like our members. Like they either compete or it's just cool to like just bring people to, to our gyms to see what we have to offer from obviously competition standpoint, but then also just like our facility and whatever else. And I think again, we usually run like a pretty good comp. So, and we're always getting, compliments. It ends on time, things like that. So I think it just kind of like displays the gym in a good way. But
well, when you say we run a good competition, what does that mean? What's a good competition?
Kind of what I said before. So
on
programming
time.
needs, on time. And I also have a firm 3 p.m. rule. I will never, ever host a competition that goes beyond 3 p.m. As a former local competition competitor person. Yeah, I used to just go try to take the couple $100 every weekend, but I don't do that anymore. I hated when those events would go till like 5 p.m. Let me go home. Like I'm hungry. Like, let me go home. That is like, I understand like for the gym owner, they're like, oh, like, let's just make it this big thing. It's like, no, people want to like go home. Like, so trim that last workout. Like, don't have it. Like, I'd rather just go home at that point. Like, I'm telling you, every time it gets to that point where there's like one more workout and I'm just like, oh my God, I just want to be done. Like I've been here since 5 a.m. You've eaten my entire day. And then by the time you get home, shower, eat, whatever, it's like 8 p.m. Like we just skip that last workout. That's my thing.
I think, yeah. So I like your emotional response to that.
I just hate that.
I think people really appreciate. I think people appreciate when the workouts are simple and straightforward, so they can just tackle them, hit them hard. But after they do a couple of them, most people, especially at a local competition, have had enough. They don't want you to jam 4 or 5 events trying to make the mini CrossFit games on them at a local competition. They don't like when you're running behind because you're not organized, and now your heat's been pushed back 30 minutes on WOD 2. Now your heat's pushed back an hour on WOD 3. That's a pet peeve of a lot of people. And then, yeah, running late to the end of the day, like people have had enough after 5, 6 hours, 7 hours there, especially
just over it.
Yeah, they just, let's see.
You also just have to like factor in the time of like, you're having athlete briefing. So your people are getting there at certain times, setting up their tent. Well, first of all, they're driving there. So it's like, then they're setting up their tent, they're hanging out there, warming up, athlete briefing, then the event starts. Oh wait, another just like random thing that like makes me lose it.
I'll get to Judy's question in a second. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go.
When there's like a final event and the like organizers are like, okay, we'll be back in 30 minutes to announce who's doing the final. No, start the final and let me go home. Like, let's go.
Well, so that comes down to organization, right? You have to have your scorekeepers.
Sometimes it's just built in. No, sometimes I've seen it. They put on the schedule a 30-minute break, a 30-minute setup break, a 30-minute.
So it's announced ahead of time. So there isn't like just this big delay. Oh, I got you.
But then you're just like sitting there and you're just like, and especially like, you know, if I'm already winning, I'm just like, can I just have my money and go home? Like, can I just leave?
Nice. Okay, a couple of really good questions here. We'll start with Ernie. How many events is too many events for an in-house competition? Like how many workouts?
Well, if you're calling an in-house meaning for your members, I think it should be even a way shorter day. I think you're looking at
3.
Yeah,
maybe?
but I'm saying like if you're doing that, it's what I think you should let your members be out of there by noon. You know.
I think it depends on the community a little bit. So I think that's one time. If it's an in-house competition, you know, if your gym members are the type that want to get there and set up at 6 a.m. and they're already grilling in the parking lot and like having a good time and they're going to stay and you're going to go home and they're going to stay till 10 p.m. hanging out, partying. Like think about Deerfield Beach when we had that gym. Like those members were there before us, setting up, getting stuff ready, and they were there long after us into the night as their hangout club. And so they didn't.
The event can still end and people can still hang out.
Sure.
So it's like, I like that better because it's, again, if you're talking specifically in-house, you're going to include more, you know, people have work, kids, whatever, that not everybody can be there from 7 to 3 for like an in-house event. I think you're, you know, making it 7 to 11, 7 to noon. And then if you want to barbecue after, I think that's a great idea for like an in-house. But if you're talking regular competition, like I have a rule if we're hosting, like I'm leaving before 3 p.m. So like, I don't care if like something goes wrong and like, it's not done, like I'm leaving. There's no, like, I will not be there.
Hey, you're leaving me to clean up the mess.
No, I'll leave. But like, we've always been cleaned up by like 2:45. Like everything put away, like we can walk out the door by 3. And I'm like, I have a firm 3 p.m. rule.
Well, we've done it enough times that we have our roles and system down pat. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Judy Reed asks, back to the too long of a day. Does that mean less registrants or less events? Because she agrees that a full day is too long.
I guess either, right? Depends. Like, you know, we usually kind of map out our schedule. Well, also you say less registrants. We kind of map out our schedule based on the divisions, right? So that's another like thing that I think that gym owners kind of like do too much with is they make all these divisions and, you know, there's like local events that have like teenage divisions and then they have 2 people in them. And then there's teenage scaled and there's 2 people in them. And then there's masters 35, 40, like men, women are scaled. And it's like every division has 1 or 2 athletes in it, which is super lame. But that's kind of just what we've seen. So like we just kind of do, I think even last year we might have done masters RX and masters scaled. And we basically had like 1 heat of each, which was like, again, I thought kind of lame. That's why this year for our comp, we're hosting at our West Side location in a couple weeks. We're just doing co-ed. So male-female partner RX and male-female partner scaled. And we're probably going to sell out. And we have like, how did I say yesterday? 35 RX teams, which is like, I just think so fun instead of being in a division with 4 people. So it's like, you're not, by offering more divisions, you're not actually offering more. You're kind of just like, in my opinion, making a lame event because you're not going to be able to fill masters 60 plus. You're just not. Right.
Just because someone emails and says, you don't have this division, can you add it? And then you add it to appease somebody. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. I correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I'm going to give like a quick little framework here on the process of like figuring out how the event's going to run. And if you do it differently, tell me. So I think you have an idea of what you want the day to look like. And then you write the workouts first and you kind of sketch out how long the workouts will be, the movements, how long it might take to transition from one workout to another. You kind of build that schedule. And then based on that schedule, you decide how many registrants you're going to take to fit that schedule, that time period. So I can take for example, this one coming up, we can take up to 60 teams because we have the heats built like this, and we can cram 60 teams into this, and it will meet these time requirements. And then from there, you can put out signups. And is that about how you do it, or do you want to do people first or workouts first, or what's your order to organize the event to make sure that it fits your time?
That's the order. I guess I don't actually necessarily make the workouts first, but I set the time domain for the workouts. So I know that so for this event, we have the first workout is like a 2-parter. So it's like a Metcon followed right into a lift. That's 20 minutes total. So it's very easy to see 20 minutes. And now we're only doing 2 divisions. So there's only a one-time floor change, weight change. So that's really quick and easy. But yeah, so we have a 20-minute event, and then I usually allot 20 minutes for the workout switch over when we get to the next event. And then this year, which is a little different, the athletes are technically only going to take the main floor twice. So they're going to do workout 1 and 2, which again is a 2-parter. And then they're going to reset on the floor for WOD 3. But we have kind of a sick floater. I'm stoked on the floater, which we can't tell people, but that's going to be almost like a mini event. So it's not going to be one team going at a time. What are we going to do? Maybe have
3
4 or 5. I think we could probably do more than that. But so it's going to look like a mini event, but now just for, again, keeping the event rolling and keeping the time ticking, we're not going to reset the floor 3 times. We're only going to reset it twice and then keep our kind of interesting floater going the whole time.
And that's a tactic we like to use for our single day competitions for sure, is the floater. You make it simple, you make it low equipment, you make it so you can have a couple of your volunteers staffed at that station for a chunk of time. And then you can let the main floor, if you have the space to do it, flow through the heats, and people can see those heats ahead of time. And then they can decide between their rest windows when they want to go jam this 3 to 7 minute, whatever you pick, floater, short, sprint workout in there. And that allows you to keep your schedule flowing and puts it back on the athlete to get it in. And so that saves you from transitioning the floor, as you said, another time, saves you from the extra heat, saves you from the same judges doing the same stuff. And you can get more events in a day, kind of give I think a more fun feel by adding that in, as opposed to just having another event. I actually really like the floater concept for most of our events.
Yeah. I think this floater is interesting because it's going to be, even for the male and female, it's going to be 1 barbell and then 1 rower. So we can accommodate big chunks of we can make it a little actual mini workout over there. But I think, again, I've competed at a bunch of competitions. I've been to a billion competitions. No one cares that they're not getting that extra workout on the floor. No one, by that point, everyone's just over it, wants to eat, wants to chill, hang out. People are drinking beers and just want to they're just cool, that was a great day. And then again, the overwhelming compliment that we always get is that, wow, thanks for getting me out of here, not at 6 o'clock. So it's oh yeah, sure, I can sure, we can program another workout or another 2, but at that point, people just want to get home. That is my biggest thing.
I think you're very emphatic about that, but you're right about that. The amount of people who come up to me the second the final's done, I'm already cleaning up, doing stuff, and they say, wow, this is the best run competition I've ever been to. Thank you for making this so smooth. It was such a good day. They're out of there by 2:30. They're pumped to go do the next thing for the day. I can't tell you how many people from other gyms have said, thank you for doing it like this. So when you hear that enough, you're like, okay, we're just going to keep this structure going because people like it. They sign up for it. They have a good time. And that's that. Anything else you want to add to that before I bring up some more? Oh, this is a great comment here. Make it simple, low equipment, and painful. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Well, simple. The catch with simple too is if you're hosting a non-in-house event, obviously in-house can be pretty chill, but if you're hosting an actual event for people, finding judges is always a challenge. It's hard to we don't make our judges come do a pre meeting that week or anything, because that's a huge ask to be hey, come volunteer your Saturday and now come also meet with us on Thursday. We don't do that. So to get all of our judges on the same page that morning is tricky. So again, some of these events have so many specific and particular rules of like, this person has to stand here and this, like, you have to tag here, and like just too much that it just makes it so hard on your judges who are giving up their time. Again, of course, we want them to do a good job. We expect them to usually know like movement standards and whatnot, like, but you're like, they're not getting anything for being there. But like, again, that's so important when, you know, you still want to run a good event, is having good judges. So keeping it super simple on them and like not stressful, where they literally can more or less just count, is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously there'll be some standard, but if you keep it to like open style movements with, for the most part, maybe you have one or two things that are a little bit outside the box, but everyone knows those standards, especially the athletes, even more so than sometimes a lot of your volunteer judges know those standards. It's not that hard to go around and remind them of that. And people are pretty good about that in these types of competitions. James O'Rourke, all I ask is I don't do 3 devastating AMRAPs. I always appreciate it when the comp clearly test a task priority workout and apply an appropriate time cap.
We should do one of each.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple of those. We're pretty good at mixing it up. Back to the movement
standard thing.
Go ahead.
I have also another firm rule. Seth hates this rule, but I don't care. No push-ups are allowed in our competitions.
I don't hate that. I just don't mind them for like a scaling option for scaled people.
Okay, so we did a competition, and
I said no.
We're going there.
Where are we going? Which?
Be quiet. I said no push-ups. Other people wanted to put push-ups because it like fit the modification for scaled. We then got this email from this spectator. Like it had
she was a competitor in the scaled
division.
Was
she? Mm-hmm. No, I thought she was watching her friend.
No, she was competing.
This is when I need to pull this email up. I just wish I had this. This was insane. Again, scaled competition, like just trying to have a good time. I didn't want to put push-ups, but everybody said we had to. So I just want to keep saying that I didn't want push-ups. I'm very against push-ups in a competition. Anyway, she sent this huge email, bold font, red, italicized, underlined, photos of how somebody was worming their push-ups in the scale division. And I said, Seth, this is why we don't do push-ups. But anyways, the point is that's a movement that's such a basic, whatever.
That's not even right. That's not even right. It's not even a right story.
It's such a basic body weight movement. No, that everybody thinks they know how to do, but a good push-up versus like a push-up that's just getting done is not the same push-up. So don't ever put push-ups in your competition. That's it.
Just to tell the story correctly, you're not that far off. The push-ups were to a box, touch the chest, and then extend the arms. So it's a little simpler, and it's hard to worm those compared to coming off the floor because there's no way to rest your hips. But
there was a plank.
Yes, they were complaining about the partner held a plank while the push-ups were going on, and the asses were way up in the air on the planks, and judges weren't calling that because they were watching the push-ups. Yeah, so that's on us, I guess, for making it hard to judge both. But that person in the scale division with 3 whole teams lost their damn mind over the butt being too high in the plank in a scaled event. And
I would just like it on the record that I did not want either of those movements, and I got overruled.
It's true. It's true. You did.
A movement like push-ups, you go, oh, this is such a great movement for my like competition. How easy, like that's so hard to judge. Even like Seth cannot do like good push-ups.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
You're a wormer.
You're
He's a great
kidding me.
wormer. Do you want me to send whatever? He does his push-ups the way he does his strict pull-ups, which is kipping.
Wow. Okay. Moving on from there. This is just like blasphemy. I can't believe you're saying that about me right now. It's just not true at all. Okay. So let's talk about some motive. Wow. Exposed. Yeah. I think she's making that up because she just likes, like every time she gets to sling an insult at me, it's like she's putting herself like a notch above me. She's trying to make it so that she's the authority on everything in the show. It's just not true. If I knew how to use
this comment box, I'd find that video. I don't have your push-up video, but I have a video of your strict pull-ups that the internet got angry about because they were bad. They were bad.
Wow. Okay. All right. Shots fired. I'll be on
push-up duty.
Yeah, push-up duty. Okay, so back to competitions now. Motivation for actually doing all the work and hosting one. So there's a number of reasons that we actually do them every time. And I mean, every time we do a competition, Dani over here says, with about 2 weeks to go, remind me never to do a competition again. She said that, and she says it to everyone around her too, our coaches, other gym members. I'm never running this again. And one time someone gave her advice, hey, make a memo in your phone about that. So if you have the idea to run a comp, just look at the memo and remind yourself not to do it. That there's been about 3 more competitions we've run since her last meltdown of a competition. So we do these frequently. Anyway, the reasons we do them, one, it can be a nice profit boost for your gym. You can make some extra money in a month if you do it well. But I think if you're not used to how to organize these, there is a major pitfall with this, and you can end up spending way more than you break in just due to being too excited. So like expenses you would run into for running a competition. A lot of times competitions give t-shirts and everybody wants a t-shirt. T-shirts are not cheap to print for the people who sign up, especially if you're not charging $100, $150, whatever, for a team of 2, or even $100 for one person. If you end up doing like competition at $60, $70, $80 to sign up and you're giving away shirts, you're spending $20 a shirt right there, plus all the other money you're going to put into running the event. You're going to basically be doing this for free, or it's going to cost you money. Do you have any advice for people who want to run a comp, how to, maybe it's the first time they're going to try to run this at their gym, they don't want to spend more than they're bringing in? What kind of things would they look out for?
Well, with the shirts, we've done shirts. We've also done other items. We also, for the Kailua comp, we actually did, the shirt was an add-on where if people wanted it, they had to pay $20, which I actually thought that was like kind of an interesting model, because like it just covers the cost of the shirt. It's not like we're making more money off it, but then like it just, and to be honest, like every time I do a competition, I get a t-shirt, like I either give it to Seth or it goes into like a bag to be donated. Like I'm never putting that on. Like, let's be real, right? So it's like, how many people you're giving out these shirts? Are people actually going to wear this shirt? Like, especially if it's like plastered with your gym logo on it and they don't go to your gym, that's another thing. Like, I don't want a shirt that's advertising your gym. Like if it has like the comp logo on it and your gym like really little, like, okay, maybe. But I think I've seen some gym shirt or some comp shirts that's just like this other gym, and if you're not a member of that like location, it can sometimes feel weird to like wear that shirt, right? But sure. I personally would never wear a competition shirt ever. So like doing the add-on I think was interesting, and that might be something we revisit again in the future. This event coming up, we are doing shirts because like I just think like the logo's sick. So, and people were like, dang, that's got to be a shirt. So I was like, okay, fine.
But you always do something for the athletes to sign up. You've given away like those big sombrero hats. We've done sunglasses, like socks. We always do some sort of like gear, apparel, something different. And I think I like your idea. You always try to come up with something that's not done often, so it's outside the box. Some of the gifts you've done for athletes, they end up being cheaper than shirts, and they're sick, and people actually use them, and that you see them around, like it's pretty cool. So getting an idea that's outside the box, like you're doing a towel, right? Beach
this
towel?
year for prizes, we have a towel and then like a shaker bottle.
Okay, that's not a giveaway then.
No, that's not. But that could be something that's like, done later. I also think where you can spend a lot of money is on prizes. Like I think people want to have this like big crazy. You should, like,
or people do that.
People do that.
Right.
Where like again, I like this is like not to be a hater, but like I don't want the bag of shit that you're going to give me for standing on the podium. Like I've been to events where you get a freaking drawstring backpack with the gym's logo on it, a sticker with the gym's logo on it, and a patch with the gym's logo on it. Like, just give me the $50 instead. And that's
a whole bunch of cards with like 15% off this brand and 15% off this brand.
Yeah. Just save yourself the energy, and like you can either come up with like a cool something simple gift. Like again, I think like we're doing like these towels with the logo on it, which I think are pretty cool just because like I think the logo came out pretty cool. And then the shaker bottles people always really like, and then cash. And that's just what they're getting. But I'm not going to give them a bunch of like jump ship items when some of these people don't go to our gyms. Like they don't want like to be plastered in jump ship stuff.
I think one of the things we do too, and we probably learned this the hard way a couple of times.
Wait, how do I put this comment? Put Don Mary's comment.
His last one?
Yep. That is how to do it.
Give me a case of Fit Aid and call it a win. Yeah.
Yes. Just do either like a cash prize and like a case of Fit Aid, and you're like, the athletes on the podium will be stoked. You don't have to go create all these items with your gym name on it that like it again, it's not like meant to be bad, but it's like trash. Like, I don't want that. Does that mean?
So Dani hates other gyms' logos.
Not their logos, but I'm not going to rep
your competition. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to like rep the gym down the streets, like stuff. Like, I'm going to wear stuff from my own like gym.
Judy likes the stickers. She puts them on her water bottle.
We'll get her one.
Wait, I wish we could show your computer right now, but yeah, your computer cases.
I don't have one other gym's computer or one other, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, like, just thinking about, you might think you're coming up with these really cool prizes, which like, I'm sure you're putting a lot of thought and energy and effort into that, which is great. But like, think about the people who like are actually standing on the podium. Like, do they want this stuff? They don't want the discount coupon codes. Like, that's not a prize. Like, just like put up a little cash or don't, and it's fine.
I'll say this once you're done sawing back there, whatever.
I'm not.
I'm just kidding. So when this cash prize is for an event, one of the things that we do typically, we'll announce this cash prizes, and we're pretty good about giving money for each event, but we base the total that we pay out on the signups that come in after. So we're not going to make some huge guarantee, even if we think we're going to get 100 teams or we build a comp that holds 100 teams. We're not just going to put some huge dollar figure out there, because if only 40 teams sign up for your 100 team event, you're screwed. And so like, I think what we do is we wait to see what the income is going to be, and then we try to give good chunks of that money back. I don't know if you have a percentage in your head that you try to use for that, and you don't have to even share that, but
no, I don't have a specific percentage. I just kind of look at total expenses, and then we just figure out what we're going to pay out. But you have to also remember, like, if we're doing like a partner comp, we don't ever give cash to Scaled. And just like, think about, if you're giving cash to Scaled, why wouldn't two really good RX people just go take the cash, right? So we never give cash to Scaled. RX, like, they're coming for like a fun day, right? So like, if you want to pay out like first, second, and third place, we always want to make sure that it's more than the registration for all three. But like paying like $500 to like, or like, paying like $500 to the first place, which would be like $250 and $250, versus paying $700, which is like $350 and $350. Like, they don't care. Like, sure, some people, if they're really just coming just to try to win money, then like, you didn't even tell them what the prize was going to be. Like, I don't think you need to break your bank and like eat your profit to like pay out like big cash prizes. I don't think that's like necessary.
Yeah.
It's not like most of these events are bringing in 10 grand. Like, you make like maybe $1,000, $2,000 off it, which is like great.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think
I'll say this to gym owners, like, this is another service you're providing. People are choosing to come spend their day, pay to sign up, compete, all this. You're running an event. You need to make some money on it too. You shouldn't be doing these things for free because you think it's going to bring you business. Most of the time, even if you flood your gym with athletes from other surrounding gyms, you're not going to have this influx of people who are just like, all of a sudden, oh, your gym's better, I'm switching there right after this weekend. That's like a fantasy I think a lot of affiliate owners have when they try to do events or competitions.
We've had a couple of those.
We've had a couple, but we've had, how many events over the years. It's not like we're getting this flood of athletes after we do events. You might get a person or two comes over, but if that's what you're banking on, that's not a good idea. You do need to try to build in some profit for you for your time. Unless there's a couple other reasons to run events, which we have done, but we don't do a lot of them. You can do a charity event. Something happens in your community. You're trying to raise money for that person or that family, or there's a cause you want to raise, like a cause that's near and dear to your heart that you want to raise money for. Like, people used to do the barbells for boobs back in the day until they found out that the people who put that on were pocketing a lot of that money. But yeah, so there's other reasons to do that. What do you think about doing and making this very transparent, doing an event like an in-house competition as like a fundraiser? So you're trying to replace your barbells after 6 years of them getting beat to hell, and your gym may not be making a ton of money, so you're trying to come up with a couple extra grand to replace all the bars for the members, and you say, hey, I'm going to run an event, all the proceeds are going towards this. Do you think that's a good idea or a not so good idea?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You're not forcing people to pay. So if they don't want to participate and they don't want to be a part of it, they don't have to.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Easy.
Yep. Got some comments here. Corey Leonard sent a DM of his jersey that he won, so we'll have to see if that's cool. We did make jump ship jerseys recently, and then it's off topic, but this drives Dani crazy. No, I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Don't say
it. The audience likes it when you go nuts, so I'm gonna just trigger you a little bit.
You know
so
what?
Dani works really hard at making. She basically designs all our logos for the most part.
Now I'm done. I'm never doing it again because I just can't stand these people.
She tries to come up with new products that aren't just the same old like Bella Canvas t-shirt that I was doing, whatever. And so recently she came up with a jersey. She printed these jerseys. They're like jump ship jerseys. They're pretty cool. And she made them for each different gym. They each have like different flags on them, whatever. And she put it out there for like a month, like pre-order only. Do not ask after. There'll be no extras. Like sign up now, get your shirt.
They're expensive. They're expensive. They're expensive,
yeah.
But I wasn't going to hold inventory on a bunch of them.
For different gyms and different styles. Yeah, there was no reason to. So she puts it out there very clearly, even has a sample that she's showing people so people know what they're getting. A good amount of people order, but not that many. No problem. It's a pre-order. So we order the ones that people want. We get them out to them. Once people got their shirts, all hell broke loose. Like everybody from every gym, even people online, are DMing, at messaging her, emailing, bothering her nonstop. How do I get one of these jerseys?
Christ.
So
I don't know what you're getting at besides pissing me off.
I'm pissing you off. So he brought up the jersey thing. So anyway, people always regret not buying the pre-order from us, and it drives Dani crazy. So I don't know. I think that's funny. So if you guys want to all DM her and say, funny. Hey, can I see some of those jerseys? I might be interested in getting one.
They broke me down so much that the 2025 version is coming in the next like week or something. Maybe I'll probably do it at the end of this month.
When are you going to give this sneak preview?
I don't have them yet. I ordered sample.
Oh, you don't have the sample yet.
No, they're on the way. I swear I'm not ordering one extra. Like, that's it. One. There will be 0 extras. Like, I'm telling you now, 0. You don't get one, I don't care. And I will not do it again.
Jonathan Ortega. Damn, I saw the jersey and I couldn't buy it, like for real. Yeah, so imagine how all the gym members felt that saw like the 5 people in each gym that had them and been like, oh, I want one of those.
The problem is we ordered those, I guess not for like a specific.
We will.
There was like a competition that then everybody was wearing them. Specifically Puna, he wears his every day and everyone's like, that jersey that Puna's wearing is sick. How can I get one? I'm like, I told you how to get one 300 times. I told you on Wodify. I told you on Instagram. I emailed you. I can't. Pre-orders are terrible, but don't want to hold a bunch of extras.
If you guys are wondering what all that noise is, we have some construction going on in our house. That's why we haven't been doing these shows as regularly, because this is like nothing compared to what's been going on here for sound. So thank you for bearing with us on that. Okay. I had some other notes here. Let's see what else we got. Just looking at the comments here. Extra sloppy. I compete for bragging rights. All they need to know is that I took 5th place. Not that there was 5 competitors. Yeah. Yeah. I actually love that when people make the podium and there's only 2 people there and they're like, I took 2nd. You don't have to tell people how many were in the division. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Well, I think we kind of already touched on like the masters divisions, like obviously super tricky to like find enough masters to compete in your very small like community area. Like it doesn't work out here. Obviously in Hawaii, we're on like an island. Even like, so the Mana Games was like, they tried to put on like this big event out here, which was like it was fine. Like we competed, it was good. But like, I think in the RX women's team division, there was 4 teams. So I think maybe we competed against 4 teams. And then the women there wasn't even all the women's masters divisions because there was 0 athletes. And then there was one guy in like the 55 or the 60 plus, like one guy, he's just competing against himself. Like, that's just like, what? Like,
but to be fair, so the Mana Games is run by the same people who run NorCal Classic. It's like the Hawaii version of that competition. And it was their first year of doing that. And it's really hard.
Yeah, got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But what could be done different is like, don't eliminate the 60 plus guy, but like he might just have to compete.
Right.
In the 45 plus, like it just might be what it is. And like you build up this division and you get some more athletes in there, like instead of having all these divisions with 2 people in them. Like I'm just like, and then so they also have like the teenage divisions, which is like great, but like they can just do scaled, like, and just like just put them. It's like, why are you making these people compete against themselves? Like it's not even cool when they get Well, I guess someone said they wanted to get on the podium. Like,
yeah, but
like
honestly, if you're not, yeah, if you're not really truly competing against a field of your peers, like you should just treat it like a fun thing. Jump into whatever division you can and just go out there and have a good time, gain some experience from it. Jonathan Ortega, do a fake pre-order. Then when they ask, do a real order.
Sounds like a nightmare, but that's a good idea.
Gus is asking what island we are on and if Oahu is close to us. Oahu's pretty close to us. Yeah, because we're on Oahu. So yeah, we have 3 gyms on Oahu. It's like a triangle of gyms on the island. And then 1 on Maui and then 1 in Phoenix. Corey Leonard, we took 3rd in Masters at Beach Brawl. There may or may not have been 4 teams there. But you know what? That means you still beat somebody. So somebody out of 4 teams didn't make the podium. That might be worse. Any other thoughts on competitions for just take a couple questions and then call it a day? Any advice? I mean, I think so. I'll just say this. I hope more gyms do competitions. I think it's great for the community, and I don't think there's like a saturation problem. I think there's less now than there were, and I think that they're fun events. I think that if you know how to manage them and run them smart, you don't have to blow a bunch of money or a bunch of time on it. If you have a system to do it, you can even do one of those things like Festivus games or whatever, like the pre-packaged events, like host one, have a good time. I think members really appreciate doing events now and then.
Yeah, just don't overkill. You know, we usually do essentially 1 a year kind of at our main gyms. That's kind of funny.
Phoenix is 2. It's like people compete a bit more out there, and there's a larger pool.
There's a lot more people.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, here we just do sort of like 1 a year.
Yeah.
My biggest advice is no push-ups.
Oh, great advice. Gus says, so if I got sent to a company trip on Oahu, I would have a gym to work out and I could meet PP. Meeting PP, it's possible to meet PP, but it needs to be like
evil.
Lucky, right time, right place. Do you have him with you?
He's scared. He's on the floor.
You can introduce him to people. I think a lot of people haven't seen him. It turns out that everyone loves dogs on these shows.
He's
like
my dog.
He is. When I competed against Colton in that last debate show, I lost points just because I didn't have a dog with me. He was getting all the points for his wiener dog.
PP already made an appearance.
Oh, you can see him over your shoulder too.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Any other questions, guys? I'll take any questions, thoughts, comments, and then we'll wrap up in about 5 minutes because it sounds like they're going to break our house down in a moment anyway. Okay, so Festivus is bad. Workouts are dumb. They skim a chunk. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know, honestly, why Seth just said that. Like, I wanted to be like, Festivus is terrible.
Okay, you're right. Sorry. Maybe that's a bad example. I'm not familiar with what they do. What I'm saying is don't let your lack of creativity or knowledge stop you from trying to host an event.
Let me tell you what Festivus Games did this one time.
Okay.
This was years ago. My mom was doing the competition with someone, and it was like guy-girl partners, and they were facing like front to back. So like someone would be standing in front of me, but like both facing forward. The barbell was on one shoulder, and they had to do thrusters, pass it over their head like this. So they were both holding the barbell. Do you understand what I'm saying? I
do. How much weight's on that barbell?
It was light, but it was like ridiculous. It was like using a worm, but a barbell.
Right.
My mom's 100 years old. Like, what is this? No, I'm anti-Festivus Games. Okay.
Sorry for that example. I just mean if you can't do it yourself, find a way to do it. I'm just trying to encourage people to host events because they're worthwhile.
They can do it themselves. Just keep the workouts simple. Or what we've done before, I think we did like open workout spin-offs or something. That was really cool. I think we made open workouts like partner version. Didn't we do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did a hero workout version. So like you already have these tools of these workouts that exist. You just need to tweak them a little bit.
Oh, I'm going to share a super quick story about the charity event thing we did. I hope someone else tries to pull this off. So years and years ago, there's a show, it might still be on, I don't know. It's called Cutthroat Kitchen. It's like a game show for cooks on like the Food Network or something. And you're given a certain amount of money. You start with the show, and there's these sabotages that come out, and they auction off these sabotages to the chefs. Like your frying pan's broken, or you have no utensils, or you have to use crappy food to make your meal, whatever. And they spend this money, whoever wins these challenges across like 3 events, like wins whatever money they didn't spend on sabotages. Anyway, so I stole that concept and I made like a sabotage fitness event for charity. So it was like a small sign up for like teams of 4, small sign up fee. It's like $50, but you show up to the day of the competition, and during the briefing, the workouts ahead of time. I auctioned off like 20 sabotages. People had to bring cash, like they brought like 1s, 5s, 10s, like cash money, and they were bidding on sabotages to stick on other teams. Like there was a run in one of the workouts, like 2 of the members of your team will have their like leg tied together for the run, so they have to hobble like to the run. You could buy like a heavy wall ball and give a team like a heavier wall ball. You could buy all kinds of crazy stuff. Like the events were kind of like silly a little bit, and people ate that up. It was one of the most fun days. It was hilarious watching the workouts go down. Everyone had a good time. There was no crying, bitching, complaining. We raised like almost 10 grand for charity from people just sticking sabotages on each other. Super fun way to run an event. So if you ever need, like, you can get creative with these things, and they can be pretty fun. My goal is to bring that back at one of my gyms at some point. And on that note, that's loud. Okay. Anyway. Holy moly. I'm gonna have to mute you in a second. All right. Any last thoughts before we leave you?
No push-ups. Bye.
No push-ups. All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Hopefully less construction going on. Thanks for bearing with us. Hopefully this helped. Talk to you later.